Good evening, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Cosmic Tea Hour 999. Today's show is a little bit unusual to what we normally do, but I'm joined here with our special guest, Hannah, and our beloved Peter Marks to hopefully pull together, or definitely pull together, Hannah and her brother. Hannah and her brother have been separated through the adoption process, and I'm actually going to have Hannah nice and loudly tell us her story and the pieces that she's been able to collect so far. Hello, everyone. Everyone, hello.
Hello, hello.
Hi.
So, Hannah, if you could share your story, your details.
Sure. So my name is Hannah. I am a teacher and I live in New York City and Long Island. I split my time between there. I was born in Bulgaria, in Silistra, right on the border between Romania and Bulgaria, on the Bulgarian side of that border. I am one of many siblings that I have between both my birth mother and my father. That being said, I do have one full brother who is the one I am trying to find. His name is Kayamil, and if this is you, your birthday is January 28th of 2002. I have been wanting to find you for a long while. I even did a 23andMe and Ancestry quite a few years back. I found one of my half brothers who was adopted by a couple in Alaska when he was 9. And so I'm trying to expand that search. Me, as well as every other single child that my birth mother had, all 7 of us total, were placed in the orphanage at birth. I am assuming that we were all placed in the same orphanage. I believe it was the Mother and Child Orphanage in Silistra. I know personally that my adoption papers say that I was adopted in Sofia, but that is only because it is the capital of Bulgaria. I grew up most of my life believing that I was Bulgarian, and then once I hired a private investigator of my own and found out a bunch of information, and they were able to track down our birth mother, it turns out that both our mother and father are of Turkish Romani descent. And not sure what your situation is like, but I know personally that the orphanage told my mother that I was Bulgarian just because of the prejudice that they have against Romani people in Eastern Europe and the Balkans. So I didn't find that out until I was 24 during COVID. But yeah, that is pretty much all of the pieces that I have. I've been wanting to try to find you for a long while. I know there's a little bit of an age gap, but I'm about to turn 29 in a few days, and I figured better late than never.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you sharing all those pieces with us. So, if you could say anything to your brother right now, just know that cosmically we are all interconnected by invisible threads. What would you want your message to be?
Um, I just want him to know that he has always crossed my mind, and he is always in the back of my thoughts, and that I genuinely just want him to be happy and healthy and enjoy wherever he landed, and hopefully it is a great place with a great family.
Beautiful. Peter, I see your eyebrows.
I hope you see my eyebrows.
The Peter is a incoming eyebrows.
I now read eyebrows.
Yes. So what messages are you receiving over there?
I am receiving messages. The guys are telling me, and I'm not quite sure why, but this is what they're feeding me. Um, Her brother is extremely, extremely. He loves traveling. He. It's hard for him to stay in one place for too long a period of time. I am picking up Eastern Europe. I am picking up Western Europe. I'm also going to say to you that they're telling me the brother is going to be doing research. He is going to be writing a book. They're showing me writing and they're showing me research. So I feel that he is going to be writing a book. They're also talking to me. He's very gifted with speaking. Very, very gifted. He loves to speak. He loves to project himself. He is multi talented, and he is a very old soul. Now, what I want to tell you, which is very, this is a new message that I'm getting. I didn't get this the last time. Your brother is going to be traveling over to the United States. They just said he's going to be coming over here to spend some time. And what they're going to try to do, the guides, is put you into connection with him. I'm also being shown here. He's been going to lawyers. He's been going over there to investigate a legal process to try to find out through the courts the families or the names of other of his peers and who they have been adopted to and with. I also want to say to you that I am picking up the research here, and he loves knowledge. I feel something about teaching, educating. He is brilliant. He's very, very gifted. And the guide said to me, as of tonight, they're going to work on bringing you together with your brother. He is very connected to family. He wants to know his siblings. I don't know. There is a connection with him with Arita, and I don't know if you know, but they just said Arita. I want to say to you, Hannah, the more you visualize and the more you see him coming to you, the easier expeditiously it's going to be for you two to reconnect.
That's right. So, just to give a little bit of backstory, Hannah and I met, and we were attracted to each other's energy right away. And the great thing about my relationship dynamic with Peter is that we know each other's strengths and weaknesses, and ego isn't something that gets in the way between us. So when I was in the middle of getting messages about Hannah, reading for Hannah, and we were talking about her brother, I said, I feel California, but I feel, and I was like, it seems like he travels a lot. Oh, you want to get in touch with him? Okay, hold on a minute. I'm going to get a hold of Peter. And I tell people all the time in a joking manner, but it's completely serious. You know, Peter's so clear and accurate. He could tell you what your belly button looked like from birth inside the womb. So, you know,
we won't go there.
And we're like, you know, I'm like, Peter, we're on a mission. You know, we're going to connect Hannah and her brother. And I'm like, all right, so what do you feel? And he feels all the different places too. He goes, he travels a lot. And I go, that's what I just said. And then he starts, you know, leaning in and getting deeper into this experience with us. So, you know, our intention, first and foremost, our awareness. Our awareness is that we are one. We are all interconnected. There is an invisible thread of vibration that connects us all. And one of the things that I'd like to just share with you tonight in relation to Hannah's story, as well as, you know, relationships, trying to get in touch with loved ones. If we communicate vibrationally or energetically with individuals, we can say, you know, we know your brother's name. So, Kaimiel, right? So we can say vibrationally, having that conversation with Kaimiel, I'm in New York City. I'm looking to connect with you. I look forward to connecting with you. I love you and I want this relationship. And what would you share with your brother if you had his phone number? If you had, hey, my birthday is coming up in a few days, and here's where I'm at. Visualize that type of relationship that you'd like to experience with him, so that you can echo that vibration out into the all that is, and then his vibration feels that. And I said earlier today, because we did the shadow work and surrender class, when we do things like that, we're in the understanding that our job or our work in most circumstances is to simply hold space. And then as we hold space to allow things to happen, those things I'm sorry, as we hold space to allow those things to happen, then source, the universe, the powers that be can help bring those things together. So if I know both ends of the bridge, then what happens in between is the allowance for source to be source and do what source does best. So hope, hold space, have that knowing that it will unfold for you perfectly, have that knowing that we are all interconnected on a vibrational level, and then have that conversation with him over and over again and echo vibrationally out there, hey, here's what I want to do with you. When I meet up with you, when I see you, the first cool thing that I think would be great to do is I want to take you to this restaurant in New York City. I want to show you the places I love. I want to know what you love. What music do you love? What do you like? And really begin to energetically and vibrationally enhance that pull that you have, because that is what is more important, more powerful than any work that we can do in the physical. And then we can compound that, asking our high self to guide us, and God source, thanking God source. Thank you, God source, cosmic intelligence, for uniting my brother and I so that we can have this relationship. So then if you already had it done for you, if it was already designed to be done, the next thing that you'd be doing is, I'm so glad that this happened. I'm so glad that we were able to come together. And now here we are together, able to have this familial relationship that we both desire to begin with. So that's the vibrational work that I know is incredibly effective. Any questions so far, Hannah? No? Okay. So before we went on air, we were looking at Hannah's birth chart, and we were looking at Camille's birth chart, trying to get any clues in their astrology. And hey, Meg, how are you? Trying to get any clues in their astrology for what could give us a lift, what could give us some knowledge about this scenario. Peter, do you mind sharing your findings?
My findings are that they both, and I'm going to explain to you what the guys are telling me.
Okay.
Before birth, they both decided karmically, and I'll explain this. In the previous life, when you were together with your brother, things were not going as smoothly as peers. And there was a lot of jealousy and rivalry from a past life. What the guides have done in this life is you signed a contract with your brother that you would grow up in different homes and that you would be separated in this life in order to test your relationship to see if you two desired to come back in a congruent way, or if you decided that you didn't want to reconnect with your brother. So your contract on a spiritual level is being brought up to the next dimension. And the next dimension is right now on this planet. We're all in the third dimension. There's third, fourth, fifth, sixth, and seventh. Some people think there's higher. But you and your brother have fulfilled your contract from the other side. And now the guides are telling me that they are going to be bringing you back together, because it is obvious on a spiritual level that you do want to remain family. Family ties are very, very strong. The family that you were adopted, that adopted you, you actually were in that family in a previous life. So this whole, if you want to call it the soap opera, is going to be a very positive ending, because you're fulfilling the karma that you decided to work on. And your brother is a very spiritual, intuitive person. And they just said to me, he has been praying and using his meditation in order to connect with you. Now, you're going to find out at night. You're going to be having dreams. You may wake up very suddenly and don't understand why this is going on, but your brother at this point is sending you messages. And if you go along and you connect with what I consider your etheric spiritual body, your master guides are going to bring you together. It shows in both your charts the emotional issues that you have to work out. I also feel that your parents in the previous life had a lot of children and they couldn't afford to keep all the children. In this life, it's also happened, but it is part of your spiritual connection and karma on a very evolved level to reconnect. Now they're showing me, and if this doesn't sound familiar to you, you've been connected to Orion, Pleiades, you have been connected to Atlantis. You have gone through many, many different cosmic lifetimes and levels in a universal way. And all of you are definitely inextricably connected, and you will be coming together. I also feel the book with your brother, and you're also going to be part of this book. So visualize this happening, and it's going to unfold.
There we go. Hi. There looks like something froze, and we missed the last couple, like the last two sentences that you said.
All right. There is a book forthcoming. There is a book about tracing ancestors and the roots and the family heritage. And they're telling me when you finally come together with your brother, there is going to be a book between the two of you written. How many of your siblings have you reconnected with?
Just one.
Just one? All right. And how many are there all together?
Between my birth mother and father, I think my birth mother had 7, and I think my birth father had 9. There was a lot of us total.
About 16?
I think it would be 14 technically, because you subtract me and my brother from both.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. This is going to be something like, I don't know if you've ever seen the Waltons on TV.
No.
Yeah. Well, this is going to be the Walton reunion within your family.
Okay.
And I really, as Teresa was talking about this, I have realized in my old golden years that what we think and we visualize every single day is we are creating our own reality, and you're creating your reunion. Every time you think about a reunion and coming together, you are making that happen, and the guides are picking up that energy. So continue to do that, and I feel very positive about the outcome.
Agreed. Being able to visualize that consistently, daily, having the conversation in energy, And that's like one of the best ways to stay in alignment vibrationally with the scenario is to
Yes.
have that daily conversation, even whether it's in a journal or in your mind. Think about if you all had the relationship with your brother already. He's already in your life. How would you want your relationship to feel, to look? What's the exchange you'd want to have? Would you want to be close and call each other and tell each other everything? Or would you have a little bit of distance in between you? I mean, obviously, this is codependent upon the kind of person that he is as well. But this is about you and your creation. So, like, I have read you already because that's one of the ways that we had met is starting out with this reading. And then knowing that right now you're in a very pivotal time of your life because you're walking out of what's no longer in alignment for you and walking into all of the alignment that you belong in. And it's a really happy, bright, positive time that you're walking into. Lots of great changes, new job, new money, new place, and now you have your relationship with your brother also on the horizon. So is that something in your mind, if you visualize your relationship to your brother, is that something that you would call and have that conversation with him about? And if that is the case, then in a journal, in your mind, hey, guess what, bro? I just had this and that, the other transpire or happen. And I'm really excited to see how, what comes of it next. Because I feel like he is an avid book reader. He's very intelligent. He likes to study. He's very into life and business and making money and the capability to think a lot of complex thoughts at once. Just a very intelligent and intuitive person. And he goes by his own guidance like you do. You're both very powerful people and you have strong mental power. So energetically, there's already a congruency between you and him because you have similar characteristics and traits. You don't like people to tell you no, you go after what you want. You're going to make it happen for you one way or the other. And you have, I feel like he's more easygoing than you are. He just has more trust or more confidence or more of an ability of like, I'm going to go do this and nothing and no one's going to get in my way, hoorah, as opposed to you, who's a little bit more conservative and learning your way into that. But you are going to help each of you grow and develop and prosper in life.
Yeah.
That sounds good.
I wanted to also ask Hannah, have there been any issues around you in the past or now in relationships?
Like what kind of, like family relationships or like romantic
Family or love
relationships?
relationships?
Yeah, definitely for both.
All right. Because the reason I'm asking you that is, as Teresa had mentioned, you follow your own tune. You do not, if somebody challenges you, you're gonna, I can't say it on air, but I can think it. You're gonna let them know in no uncertain terms that they can go pound salt.
Yeah. That is very true, Peter.
Okay. So they're telling me some of the lessons that you have to learn are adapting to other people, seeing their viewpoints. I feel very much pain when I tune into you. I feel a lot of pain, and I do feel that you would like life to be maybe a little easier than it has been for you. And at times you feel you've been dealt a really bad blow from the circumstances that you have gone through. And you are the type, they're also saying to me, you need to focus more on organizing and getting things done. I feel at times you have wonderful energy and you love to get involved in projects, but you don't always finish them.
Yep, that's the ADHD.
Okay. So, with this, your master guide just came in and your master guide is telling and asking me, it's a question. They're saying to me, have you considered working for yourself or starting a business?
Yep.
Okay. And you know what you would be doing with starting that business?
I actually technically have two small businesses under my name. I have a superfood blends company with my mother, and I also have a soap company as well. So I make homemade soaps. But that's not really, it wasn't really my idea to do those things. I think I feel very passionate about education. I am a teacher, so
Yes.
I'm not having worked in charter schools, I know exactly how things go and I know how teachers are treated, and there's just a lot of things wrong with the education system. I mean, my current goal is to, get certified and move into public education, but I also know that when I have children, I'm not sending them to school. I don't know what it's going to be, but it's going to be something different because I mean, I am trying my best to make a positive impact on the education system, but I don't think that it actually honors all the different types of uh, like personalities and strengths that children have, and they don't get to honor that, and they don't get to figure out, hey, I really like art. How can I become better at this? So eventually, I would either love to, figure out how to like have a charter of my own and do better than the other schools that I've worked at thus far or figure out something else, but it'll definitely be education related because that's what I'm very passionate about.
All right. You're telling me they feel eventually you will go back to school.
I'm
There's
technically in school, but yeah, I think I technically just got kicked out because I was released from my fellowship program, so I don't know how I'm getting back to school, but I know I will finish it.
All right. The other thing that the guides are asking me for you to do
Mhm.
is they would love for you to become an advocate for the educational system to challenge the outdated parochial doctrines that they said are being thrust upon society. And they would like you to become an advocate for change. They're saying to me you would have made a marvelous lawyer.
I thought about taking the LSAT and then I just didn't. I was a teacher already, so I was like, it's fine.
All right. But you are to become an advocate. I do see you on podiums in the future. I see you working with educators that are very much into. Have you ever heard of an educator called Rudolf Steiner?
Hmm.
Well, I went to Rudolf Steiner schools. My parents placed me in Rudolf Steiner schools for gifted children, and I challenged the whole system. In fact, I was born with dyslexia. I'm not going to go through a long story, but I was told when I was in a regular uh, uh, parochial school that I had a very low IQ, and my parents said, well, that's what you think. He
Yeah.
doesn't. I was challenged by Rudolf Steiner schools and I graduated. I went on to college and graduate school. So what I'm actually referring to here, you have the ability with your intelligence and with your education to challenge these old ideologies. And if it wasn't for alternative schools in the United States, a lot of gifted people would not have achieved their goals. I mean, Bill Gates dropped out of Harvard. We have a lot of brilliant,
Yeah.
creative people. Well, you're the next on the list. You're going to
Yeah.
change society.
Well, I would hope that would happen. I always said that my baseline for having a job that I want is to make a positive change in the world, especially with children. It's
Yes.
something I've always been passionate about. I grew up teaching karate to the mentally disabled. You know, I always have been a teacher. I think it just took me a really long time to finally accept that that's what I wanted to do with my life. You know, I was always doing it in some way, shape, or form, but wasn't like fully like the acceptance until like the last few years. And I got into
Yes.
teaching kind of by, not by accident, but you know, I thought I was going to become a coder because I wanted to make good money and I was tired of being poor. And then I started doing coding and I sucked at coding and I didn't understand it. And I'm like, it's time for me to figure out the next thing. And then someone, you know, reached out to me on LinkedIn from a charter school and that was it, you know. I knew like from the jump. I was like, I love teaching English and this is going to be it. So, you know,
Well,
definitely excited.
keep on going. Keep on going because you have the ability. They want you to. Do you have your master's?
No, so I got into a teaching fellowship through one of the New York City charter schools, and then I recently just separated from them on Friday. Just like vibrationally, we weren't on the same, you know, wavelength. I think my teaching style did not align with theirs. Also, like I definitely made some mistakes because going to school full time and also teaching full time is
Right.
stressful. So I made some boo-boos, which I'm not proud of, and you know, I'm taking ownership of that. But I think that when, you know, they told me that they wanted to separate with me on Friday, I wasn't upset at all. I actually felt a great sense of
They
relief.
did you. They did you the greatest service.
Yeah, so now I'm, you know, trying to manifest, you know, a job that's going
Well, you're
to,
not going to try it. You're going to do it.
That's what I
yes,
was just going to say. There's no
exactly.
try in manifest. We just become the magnet that allows what is already available to us to align
Yes.
with us. So that trying is a little bit of resistance in the vibration. You don't even need, you know, when we
Yeah.
think about why would we be afraid? Why would we have these ideas or put separation between us and what we want or us and what's good for us? And consciously, we wouldn't. It's the subconscious that wants to prepare us for, oh well, if it doesn't work out, you know, at least I didn't get my hopes up, you know, it's something to
Right.
that effect. But when you take over it, it's like you are, like I said it to you in your previous reading, every time I interact with you, you are scaling up vibrationally and everything is about to blow open for you in such a nice, big, positive way. So like even on Friday when I spoke to you, I was like, you know, you're like, I the job that I was just talking about, because we were talking about the vibrational aspects of it and how you were going to go back to the class this year and things that you'd like to do differently this year than last year, and then boom, all of a sudden, you know, you're out of it and you're talking, you know, so you're in the middle of grad school right now, or
Yeah.
you know, you were, and now you're figuring out, well, okay, I have to choose a new grad school and I'm going to be in a new educational program. And something that comes through so clear is administration. Administration. You're going to be a teacher, but administration is also going to be a huge function
Yes.
of what it is that you create. Whether it's a charter school, they have smaller school programs now that do meet the credential needs of children. When these groups of parents get together and say, I don't need public school, I know a lot of like parents who are against vaccinations. They don't want to get the vaccination, so they opened up these small charter schools for their children, and they have parents who teach these different subjects, and they have the same exact credentials as the public school, but they don't have to deal with all the politics that go along with it. So whether you're opening up your own school down the road or you become admin in public school, this is the time when you get to really step into your life like the force of reckoned with, that like the force of nature, you know, to be a force to be reckoned with, because those past things were learning curves, were you know, steps to get you to where you need to be. Now that you've had this experience compound with all the others, you're so passionate about the way children get educated, and that there's children who learn in different learning styles, have different personalities, have different abilities to meet different things. Just because a fish can't climb a tree doesn't mean that the fish isn't intelligent. It means they're intelligent and they have a different pathway than the other child who can do whatever else. And you're so acutely aware and sensitive to that, that is your baby. That's your prized possession, so to speak, for your life. And, I have nothing to say about the charter school that you just were at, other than what I do know is that you're stepping into a place that wants a passionate teacher like yourself, that cares about the children the way that you care about the children, that is more open-minded to the kids having not just an educational experience where you can deposit notes into their mind, but to have an experiential experience with what they're learning, so that when they come out feeling confident in knowing about what they're learning. These are the things that matter to you, and that's why you excel in them.
Yeah. Yeah, she's got a very bright future ahead. You do have a very bright future. I can see where you're going to be, and you're going to be very content. Yeah.
That's good.
So
yeah, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, it just came to me again. There was a quote, I believe, by Albert Einstein, who I respect highly, who said, knowledge is not as important as imagination, because of the fact that many people I meet in society that are very highly educated are not highly intelligent. They will amass all the knowledge, but if you deviate from what they went to school for, they can't answer a simple question.
That's right.
Yeah, so that is very true of our school system, and but you are going to become you're going to be working with administration as you get more experience, and you're going to help with decision making, and that I definitely see.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So we shared the facts that you had about your brother, about where you've come from in your experiences. We know your brother is out there. He loves to travel. And as Peter has been feeling, he's coming to the U.S. So you don't even got to get on a plane to go to him unless you're meeting somewhere in the U.S., which is nice.
Right.
Okay. So vibrationally, we're just holding space for your brother to come in, and then any kind of guidance that you receive or that we receive towards this, we'll be able to easily follow it because we're not holding resistance to it. So we will make an update video when your brother and you make contact. So if there's any person who watches this video and has any questions, they can get a hold of Peter and I, saying, hey, I think I might have a awareness, a clue where K-Mill might be coming from, or maybe K-Mill even sees this personally, we won't limit it. And he could reach out to us. So Peter, can you give, before we go, a little backstory on your abilities? Because I know what they are and I have a lot of reverence for them, but can you kind of tell us how you became a psychic and your clarity and how people can reach you? Can you share that?
Is that what I am? I wasn't sure what I was.
Really, you're just Peter. I mean, I wasn't going to tell them about your history at Chippendales and how you had a spiritual experience.
Oh, we can't go there. We can't go there now.
That sounds fun.
Okay. All right. Putting aside the Chippendale, approximately 30 years ago, I used to be a TV producer. And when guests used to fly in to New York and New Jersey, I would sit down with them. And because of their energy, when I was sitting next to them, I would pick up the energy and I would pick up names and unfoldments for them. And when I told them about it, a lot of people got upset with me and said, where are you getting this from? My grandmother, who has passed, was extraordinary psychic and an intuitive, and it runs in my family. And it was suggested by two aunts that I have that I used my psychic ability, my clairaudient, to also train myself. And I went through what would be considered a master's course to become certified as a trained astrologer. After I became certified, I was on a ship many, many years ago, and I was fortunate enough to meet the actress Angie Dickinson. I gave Angie Dickinson a mini reading, and she said, I am introducing you to Hollywood. She said, I think this is absolutely amazing. So, with giving this up to the universe, as Teresa and I are talking about, I visualize myself writing books. I visualize myself being on radio and TV. And so far, I've written a cookbook. I've been in other books. And I actually channel. I do not, egotistically, I do not take credit for the abilities that I have because I am a channel for God. And I've been doing this now for, over 30 years. I have read for some of ex-President Trump's closest friends. I've read for celebrities throughout the United States, and I enjoy tuning into people through energy that is channeled from my head, the indigo, down through my body. And over the years, I've been able to, I believe, help many people out. I do not like to prognosticate death. That's not my, I am not God, and therefore I leave that up to the medical field. And I actually, years ago, I prayed every day to connect with a man or a woman that I could cultivate a TV show with and for. And I did that for the past 5 years. And this year, that dream has manifested in reality. I met the amazing Teresa. So it's taken me 70 years to come to this point in my existence, but it's been well worth it. And that is the crux of how I ended up working with so many wonderful people, including Teresa and yourself, Anna.
I wanted you to share your background story because in meeting you and in working with you, I've become so comfortable knowing. We can't ever really know the full spectrum of anything because things are consistently expanding, and there is no limit to what anything could possibly be. But in my experience in working with you, knowing people who cross over, the details of someone's life, someone's medical history, someone's death, loved ones, relationship dynamics, the things that people don't want people to know are often the things that you'll tap into in having a reading. Because at this point, I've been read by you. I've had friends and family read by you, and everybody has always been blown away by the experience of like, he knew what I ate for dinner on the 327th day of my third year being alive in great detail. I don't know how he did it, but he did it. And I'm like, well, that's Peter. That's what Peter brings to the table. And that's, it's a beautiful experience that you just so lovingly open yourself and say, I'm here to share whatever that's going to be. And because of your laid back approach for the information to come to you, you're giving it in a way where you really are taking the ego aspect of it and putting it on the shelf and saying, God drives this vehicle and I'm along for the ride. So I want, when we came together to start the reading for Hannah, and we talked about this and you came up with, okay, let's put it on the podcast. I want people to know about who you are. I mean, first of all, you're Peter, you're a spirit having the experience of doing everything that you do. But
Yes.
as far as your gifts go, why did we get here? How did we get here? And this is what's brought us together.
Yes.
So you'll be reading at FemPowered on the 28th with me, which I'm super excited about. I have made posts on our Instagram that talk about what FemPowered is. If anybody's interested in partaking in it, it is a day-long daycation with about 6 different modalities: breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And Peter with his never mind. I was going to say your Chippendale history.
Yes. I took a hiatus from the Chippendale.
He'll be back in action on the daycation.
Yeah, exactly. I also wanted to say how incredible Hannah is on her abilities, on her education as a spiritual soul. I take my hat off to you, Hannah, what you've been through and everything that you've overcome. So you're amazing.
Thank you. Thank you.
I agree with that. It's really wonderful to see just life in general, how life hands us whatever we have an experience.
Yes.
Like I just did my shadow work and surrender class earlier today, and there's so much stuff that comes out in that class as far as life experience, and it really puts you in touch with the gamut, that we're all sharing in. But to see people live their lives and how they navigate situations and how we're really all in this together. And the softer we are with ourselves, the softer we are with things in general, the easier time we have navigating it. So yes. I look forward to being able to make a video and give the people who are watching tonight and the people who watch this video in the future the updated version of Hannah and her brother have met. They've come together. Here was what that looked like. Here's where, and then we can bring Camille on the show with us and, how to, talk about how you guys met and how you intersected and see the benefit of this family reunion. So it's exciting.
I also want to interject something quickly. I don't know. Do you know who John Walsh is? No. All right, I'm going to try to get his number. I met John Walsh. He's got his own TV show. He actually has the ability to connect people that have been separated in childhood, come together. His name is John Walsh. He's very well known. He's got his own show, and I would like you to register or connect with his organization to facilitate with your brother.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah.
Beautiful. So thank you to everyone who's watching tonight. Thank you to the individuals who will watch this video after the fact. Thank you to anyone who participates in bringing these siblings together. And we all look forward to this reunion happening and all the best unfolding for everyone involved. So thank you, Hannah, for being a part of our show tonight and giving us the privilege to talk about you, talk about your journey, sharing the astrology and, being part of this for us tonight.
Yeah, it was a pleasure being here with you guys.
Thank you, Hannah. Wonderful meeting you again.
You too.
Again.
Again.
Ash, Peter, and I will be back to do another episode of Cosmic Tea Hour in the next week or so. We can finally get to our soulmates, twin flames, and spiritual relationship conversation, which we have put off. Obviously, Peter and I are both doing much better now. So thank you to everyone who said prayers to us, and lots of love to everyone who tunes in and watches with us. And we appreciate you. We love you, and have the most amazing night.
Take care. Much love.
Bye.